Hey everyone, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are. This is a live stream for the time zone for North and South America, Canada, and anywhere else that suits. This is an opportunity. If you join, please say hi, please let me know where you're joining from. Welcome, welcome. Thanks for being here. Thanks for being you. This is an opportunity while we're live, if you're here during the live stream, to have any questions answered. If there's something specific that you would like my focus on for your health, for mind, body, spirit, any dimension of your life that you're feeling stuck or stagnant, we can work that energy in real time. I will say that this broadcast is not a replacement for Western medicine. I acknowledge that all healing comes from the divine, and your participation in the chat, in the conversation, in the live stream, if you choose to come forward and ask for help, is your consent for me to speak publicly about your situation. So having said that, when I came on this morning and sat in my chair and prepared to go live, I felt a very restless state of agitation. And I'm feeling that right here. So that's me beginning to tune into the collective. And I know in the USA in particular that there's a lot of restless agitation in the States right now, regardless of which way you fall or in between. That there is a tremendous amount of agitation in the collective. So I'm going to start by working with that and offering a prayer for grounding and balancing, centering, so that regardless of what's happening in your external world, on the bigger picture, the global scale, the national scale, that you can find your sense of center, you can find your sense of self, you can find your sense of balance. So that is what you work with. That's how you navigate through the world. Hi everyone, welcome, thanks for joining. I'm going to start by pulling an epiphany card, just as we give people time together. There are no mistakes, only lessons hopefully learned. So speaking to that, as somebody who's made many mistakes in their life, I met a wise elder once who every time she came across a challenge in life, she'd call it a study. So if you're going through something in life right now where you feel like you've messed up or you've made a mistake or you have regrets or there's something that you could have done differently, just going to reframe that in your mindset for a moment, to hold it as the universe giving you a lesson, for the universe providing a lesson for you to reflect on your part in the engagement, in the interaction, in how you respond, in where you're feeling wounded. What is the lesson there in your life? If you feel like you've made a mistake or something has happened to you or you had an experience that was jarring or impactful in some way where it felt like it was wrong or messed up or wasn't meant to be, in all these ways that we fight reality when something happens to us that's not comfortable. So when we start to ponder every experience that comes our way as an opportunity to learn a soul lesson in the great mystery school of life, it allows us to reflect and examine and feel into what's still wounded in us, what's still broken, what's operating the machine at the back of house. You know, what are the strings that are being pulled in your thought patterns? Where are you in shadow that is not in resonance or harmony with how you want to move forward in life? So say, for example, you have a car accident and you're thinking, why me? Why did this happen? And you're hurt, your body's hurt. But in the recovery time, there's this spaciousness to reflect on all of these things. And depending on the body part that's been hurt, that becomes the focus because that is the source of pain. So it provides a lesson for you to focus on the source of pain, and it provides the spaciousness to focus on that source of pain. So instead of being like, oh, this happened and damn it, and you're like, that's that fight, that's that resistance, that's that wishing it was other than it is. There's the place of acceptance. Okay, this happened. What can I learn from it? What's the study? How can I evolve? How can I find the source point of discord in my being so that I don't have to repeat that lesson over and over and over again? Because the nature of reality, the nature of the universe, is that those lessons are going to get louder and they're going to get more painful and they're going to start screaming at you until you pay attention. At least that's my experience anyway. For someone who's living in a body that had to scream at me before I was paying attention to it, you know, just kind of disconnected there for a long time. So yeah, life lessons, school of study. Welcome here, everyone. I'm going to open the circle, and please feel free to ask for healing requests. I was going to say, just fell out of my head. If nobody pipes up and wants a healing request today on this live, I'll just do a collective healing. Again, that balancing, clearing that agitation, so that anybody who watches afterwards can receive that as well. So if you're with me, go ahead. All you need to do to receive this healing is to say yes or nod, affirm that you'd like to receive it. Go ahead and take 3 deep breaths in through the nose and out through the mouth. Oh, Holy Father, Mother God, please allow me to create this virtual digital space as sacred, that all the viewers, everybody who participates, feels like that they are in a safe place to shine the light into whatever area of their life they need assistance with at this time. Bring through the assistance of the archangels, the Legion of Light, Jesus Christ, Mother Mary, Mary Magdalene, Kuan Yin, the Buddha, Saint Germain, the Violet Flame, Saint Michael, Durga, the spirits of this land. I'd like to acknowledge all the spirits of this land, the Bundjalung Nation, elders past, present, and emerging. The First Nations of whichever land you find yourself on. Allow and bless and pray that this healing energy ripples out to all of the First Nation communities of where you find yourself, that they may be empowered, strengthened, supported, acknowledged, recognized, and listened to, honored for their teachings in how to live in harmony with Great Spirit. Bring your focus to the energy field about 6 inches outside of your body. Any debris, detritus, energetic, any energetic garbage that you may have picked up from watching the news, from listening to somebody's woes, from any trauma that you may have experienced. Just to counter the forces of great heaviness that are in the air at the moment, that are in the news, that are in the consciousness, the forefront of people's minds. Just asking the divine to bring through a very, very, very powerful force of light, a force of love, a force of kindness, force of compassion. Go ahead and breathe this force right into your chest area. And as you exhale, all the fear, all the density, all the heaviness, all the anxiety, let it leave your body. Breathing in the love and the light. Exhale all of the heaviness. One more time, breathe in the love and the light. Exhale all of the heaviness. The image I'm shown is of people cowering in darkness. Whether that's you personally, whether that's somebody you know, whether that's in the collective, whether it's a child that you're aware of. Just sending our prayers, our collective prayers, to whoever needs right now. Ask them to receive guidance, ask them to receive a pathway that is clear, the support they need to be free. Tina, thank you for your request. Please could you give me specifics? Only as much as you're willing to share in a public forum, but the more specific you are, the more surgical precision focus you'll receive. And I'm happy to do a general read if you would like as well. I feel like that it would be helpful for you to have that targeted, specific laser to dissolve and resolve whatever it is you're working with. So Tina, thanks for being here. Thanks for showing up. Thanks for receiving. I'm going to plant a seed of food for thought. that your body is going through what it's going through, and the experience that you find yourself having, a big part of the healing is accepting what's happening. So if you've reached that stage, that's a step forward. If you're still in disbelief, shock, if you're like, why is this happening? This isn't real. Waking up every morning going, oh, it's still real. If there's that feeling of being in a surreal dream because you haven't accepted what's happening, then that's the first step. And so I'm going to ask for a prayer today that you can accept what's happening for you. And that this is true in your life in general too, that there may be an aspect of you that feels like everything happens to you and that you are the victim of circumstance and wondering, why me? And even, why me? So taking a breath here today to accept where you're at. I accept where I'm at. 3 times. I accept where I'm at. Okay, and there's a tremendous amount of energy that wants to rise to the surface when I say that. I'm going to do it one more time. I accept where I'm at. All of the resistance in you wants to surface when we affirm that. All of the fight and flight and fear. Okay, so just be aware that by affirming this, that you're going to be confronted with the things that have been squashed down, packed away, hidden, unseen, put in too hard basket. And that's a lot for anyone, right? I will say from personal experience too that the healing, just to be kind to yourself and gentle with yourself, because as you begin to reveal, as you begin to unpack, as you begin to look within and understand and see the source of discord, dysfunction, distortion in your field, in your being, that the emotions that are attached to this discord and this dysfunction and this distortion may surface. So if you begin to feel that energy rising and it becomes overwhelming, let the tears roll. Let the sounds come out. Let the truthful expression be heard, even if you're talking to a tree. What do you need to say? Right here in the throat, opening that channel. That's the starting point, yeah? Feeling heard, feeling seen, self-expression. Wherever this illness is in your body, that's the starting point. That you are able to express. That flips a switch and allows the flow, that begins the trickle of the stream that has been stagnant, locked, coalescing, just like an eddy in a river where there's a pool that has been separated from the flow, becomes stagnant, right? If there's no current, the mosquitoes come, the leaves fall, the quagmire creates a perfect environment for disease, for things to rot and decay. But as soon as the current is allowed through that eddy, when there's a wash or a surge or a high tide or whatever the flow that brings energy to that pool, that once again things are cleared out, energy that no longer serves, things that are stagnating, things that no longer serve, things that are in a place of stasis can begin to flow in your life. And that flow, that current, that's the life force. That's the healing. So just with me now, Tina, to bring your focus and attention to, if it's overall picture or a specific area of your body, the source point, the original point of illness. If there's a whole body picture thing here going, feels like you are underwater in that regard. Okay, thank you. Okay, so right now we're going to bring your focus to that area, right? Zero in if you've had scans, if you've had results of any kind from a doctor, just so that you've got a visual in your mind's eye of what the issue is that you're working with. Bring your attention to that. Focus, zero in on that right now. Okay. Just be open to receive. Tina, you can re-watch this as many times as you like. If you feel like it's helpful and supportive, consider it like a meditation to assist you to be in a positive mindset. Because I know when anybody receives any kind of diagnosis that the first reaction is fear, right? So just this is diminishing that fear so that you can be in a positive mindset, so that you can focus on your healing, so that you can allow that current, so you can be in acceptance, so that you can find the flow of healing energy and bring that through. So timestamp this and rewatch it as many times as you like. Yeah. Yeah. That feels different already. So, Tina, the fact that you're feeling this is a really good sign, right? Because not everybody does. That says to me that you're sensitive, empathic, dialed in, tuned in. Mm. I just felt the presence of an angel here, very, very strongly here for you, Tina. So I'm feeling like that's somebody who's one of your ancestors actually who's come through. So if there's a connection you have to somebody who's passed over, there is an opportunity to connect and relate to them in a deeper way. And if there's any kind of thoughts of inadequacy about this person and how they passed or why they passed or your relationship to them, just allowing those to dissolve so that the channel and the connection can be clear. Now you've got that intel on the other side, right? There is a connection for you here to assist you with your next steps. I'm sure since it's been 15 months that you've investigated all kinds of alternative modalities. I mean, you're here, so that says that you're open to alternative modalities. So just bringing into focus what could be an added boost in terms of working with different aspects of self. It's not just all the physical. Obviously, the doctors will be working with the physical. That's their specialty. Then you've got the spirit doctor, then you've got the acupuncturist, then you've got, the naturopath who's working with the diet, then you've got, the yoga teacher who's assisting you to be connected and embodied. And it doesn't have to be yoga, but whatever is the modalities that assist you to stay embodied and take care of yourself in that way. I feel like that I could keep going, Tina, but I feel like that is enough for now. When I work with somebody, if there's too many tweaks and fixes, energetic fixes, that it does, create this kind of rush of overwhelm. Like, so just little by little, what you have capacity to integrate. And maybe don't rewatch it for a few days. Just allow yourself to integrate what you've received in the next few days, and then revisit if you're ready. And maybe if you're really kind of adept, you can watch it again sooner. But just be really gentle with yourself, because even though working with the subtlest form of consciousness is exactly that, very subtle, it's also very powerful. So don't underestimate the process of integration. And feel free to reach out to me in the days that come if you have questions. I believe there's a way you can reach me on this chat, even it stays open afterwards. So is there anybody else that would like to receive the focus? You're welcome, Tina. I'm putting a prayer out for balance. Balance in the self, balance in the nation, balance in the world. Right now, it feels like we're living in very dark times. Regardless of where you stand politically, there is so much division. There's so much hatred, angst, despair, fear, shock. Pick an angle, any angle, whatever you relate to, just bringing that into your mind's eye to allow all of the feelings associated with any aspect of your life right now that are heavy or burdened, just allowing that to wash away, dissolve, resolve. And a healing for the mind. If you find that your mind is racing or it's on fast forward, or if you find that you're constantly projecting into the future or constantly nostalgic for the past, bringing the mind into the here and now, into the present moment. Future is a fantasy, the past doesn't exist anymore. Right here, right now is all we have. And right here, right now, I am balanced and present. I'm awake. I'm aware. Life force is running through me. Gratitude for this life. Gratitude for the pulse, the current, the vitality. Gratitude. So bring your focus to the throat. Front and back. Then in your mind's eye, think about your own truthful, authentic expression. Think about if there's something that you need to say, if there's something you need to express, if there's something that would like to come through you, you're welcome to tone or hum or sigh or sing or speak. Or whisper. Something that has been held inside you that wants to be expressed. If not to another, then to Creator, archangels, the divine, the witnesses, spirits, angels, guides all around, ancestors. What do you need support with? Bringing you into alignment with your authentic, truthful expression. What is true for you? And it might be different from everybody else. And maybe that's difficult. What's in your heart? What's true for you? Any other brave souls while we're here? Anyone who's watching, you're welcome to make a donation. Donations, it's my birthday month. I have a wish list. It's in the link below. B, any donations, I put them towards the creation of a healing sanctuary. And I also put them towards a donation to rainforestrescue.org.au, which is an organization that's very dear to my heart. It's restoring and regenerating and conserving the Daintree rainforest, which is in the upper North Queensland area of Australia. It's the oldest rainforest in the world, and this is an organization that's very dear to my heart. So your donation will support them as well. They're good work. Miss Annie, sad and not feeling like you belong. Annie, you're showing me a picture of yourself as a child, and you feel dejected and naked and afraid, like exposed somehow. And this image is generating a feeling of disconnection. So feeling like this disconnection repeated as a child, as a young child, and then about 7, and then again as a teenager. Whatever experiences happened to you then that amplified it and added to this feeling of disconnection. So my prayer for you today is for a beautiful, deep sense of belonging in yourself. I know what it's like to feel disconnected. I know what it's like to feel like an outsider. And I also know what it's like to feel a deep sense of belonging. And that deep sense of belonging starts within, yeah? So when you have a deep sense of belonging in yourself, in your connection to the divine, your connection to the source of all creation, in that expansiveness, you're never alone. So we're going to pray today for you to be connected to the source of all creation. This is the card I just pulled. Can't make this shit up. So, aloneness, in actual fact, is a play on the words all one. So when you can get comfortable with your aloneness, when you can get comfortable and find a deep sense of belonging in yourself, regardless of the external experience and people or communities or families or friends, regardless of any of that, if you have a beautiful, deep sense of oneness, connection to source, to the creator, to the source of all creation, that's where the deep, deep deep, beautiful sense of belonging comes from. That's your relationship to God, Goddess. That's your relationship to Great Spirit. That's your connection to your ancestors, who, speaking about right here, right now, have gathered around you in support. So if you can expand the parameters and the bandwidth of your perception for just a moment, to sense and feel that your ancestors have gathered around you like a warm blanket around the campfire to support, holding you. Can you take a deep breath into this space? And that actually this time of feeling disconnected, and this time of being alone, and this time of not belonging is actually a gift. It's a really beautiful gift for you to cultivate that relationship to the divine. And it might be hard because it brings up all the feelings of disconnection, discord, outcast. Brings those feelings up. Let them surface. Let them surface. And let them be dissolved, resolved, cleared, right? Because if they're buried, if you're swimming in the mire of these discontent, then that's how you're experiencing life. You're living life looking through the filter of this discontent. But if you sit with them in the presence of God, if you sit with them in the presence of your ancestors, knowing you're not alone, and you feel those feelings, and you allow them to be expressed, and you allow them to be felt, soon they'll clear, just like a storm comes and goes. Feelings come and go, and you'll start to lighten up. And a wise old man said to me once that God awaits your invitation, will not step in unless you specifically request assistance, versus the dark forces, the heavier aspects of life, will invade without invitation. So that's food for thought. That resonated for me. You actually have to ask for help. And asking me for help right here as a channel for the divine is a step. It's asking for help, right? So in your aloneness, you can create that connection. You can create that assistance. You can ask for help from God, and you'll be pleasantly surprised. It comes in all ways and all ways. Even if it's just a little bird lighting on the fence and chirping to you, singing its beautiful song. Even if it's a waft of wind that lifts your spirits for a moment. Or if it's an actual human that comes and brings you a gift or an opportunity that it surfaces. The support can come in so many ways. And if you think it has to be a certain way, if there's a rigid mindset about what it looks like, then you're closed off to everything else. So part of receiving that help, part of receiving that assistance is not having any expectations about how it's going to come. And from the smallest thing to the grandest gesture, that help will come. So in your aloneness, in that small, disconnected, not feeling like you're belonging, place. Cultivate that relationship to the divine. Ask for help. And right now, since you've asked, we're just going to clear some of that heaviness out of your field, okay? So that you can feel that lightness in your heart. You can feel that love. And as far as I can tell, God, source of all creation, beloved, great spirit, is love. And anything else is a distraction, right? So take a deep breath for me. Really messing with the throat today. I just saw your little sunflower. That's who you are. A little sunflower. Don't forget that. Yeah. Ping. You're a little sunflower. Radiant. So on that note, connect to the sun as often as you can. Yeah? Some sun gazing pre-dawn. Just a little. Everyone will tell you not to stare directly at the sun, but in the wee hours, just a few seconds, build a little bit more each day. Absorb that vitamin D. You can have closed eyes, absorb it through the closed eyes. You can bring that sunshine in, even if it's a rainy day, in your mind's eye. Bringing in the gold. There's a character in a children's book that I'm being shown, which is Aslan the lion. I don't know if you've read the Narnia Chronicles. Even if you're an adult, they're a great story. Aslan is this very Christ-like being in the books. Who's bringing in that golden feline big cat sunshine energy, so that you feel connected to the divine, so that you feel connected to all of creation. And the sun anchors in that feeling of belonging. The sun shines the light into the darkness. And when you feel that deep sense of belonging, and when you have that connection in yourself, and when you've asked for help and it has started to come, you'll actually find that you'll attract and magnetize other people who match your vibration, other kind, gentle beings. You'll find that you draw them to you. They'll find you. You'll find them. It's your soul family, yeah? Sometimes our families are good for karmic lessons, but not so good for a feeling of belonging. So in your prayer to connect with Great Spirit, you can also ask to magnetize your soul family. And know that you're a radiant sunflower. Just needs a little watering. And if all of this brings up the sadness, if all of this brings up the feelings, feel the feels, let them go. It's part of the healing, yeah? Thanks for asking. Hi, Kelly. Career move and next steps. Chronic non-aggressive leukemia. There's a part of me that wants to say sorry for your diagnosis, but there's also another part of me that's knows that you've got this, right? Knows that you've got the strength and the courage and the determination and the perseverance and the willingness and the tools that you need to find that alignment. So 2 things working with the leukemia, which lands like a heavy blanket. So if somebody had put a heavy blanket on you, like that was laden with saturated, you know, a woolen blanket, when it's wet, it becomes very heavy. So it's like you've been under this blanket and it's very wet and it's heavy. And I suspect that this blanket is the layers of expectations, opinions of others, judgments, probably the parents in there, maybe society, maybe, you know, your cultural conditioning, all of these things that have layered upon you that you have to be a certain way and do a certain thing and live life a certain way, so that you've tried to coexist with this judgments, expectations, and the weight of this heavy blanket. So we're just going to take that blanket off, okay? You ready to drop the blanket? Just like, okay, take the blanket off, drop it. Didn't know you could do that, actually. What? Shake it off. Have a good shake today, right? Oh, what does life feel like without that heavy blanket on my shoulders? Like, what? I encourage you to go shake and dance, because moving forward, you're not carrying that heavy blanket anymore. Goodbye. Then surfaces the fear of like, oh, what does life look like without that heavy blanket? Because it's familiar, right? It's familiar. You've lived with it for a long time. So there's a comfort in that familiarity. And when you drop what's familiar, suddenly you feel a little bit exposed. And actually it was a little bit of armoring as well. And it did give me some shelter and it did give me some protection. So suddenly there's the, ooh, feeling a little exposed here. So we're just going to wrap you up in a different kind of blanket, which is the beautiful golden sparkles. St. Michael steps forward here. See the sword of truth, right? Aligning yourself with your sword of truth, aligning yourself with your authentic expression. So whatever the career move, working with a body that is dealing with these symptoms, whatever the career move, refining the focus of that truth, refining what is your truth that wants to be expressed, bringing all of your talents, abilities, skills, education, experience, all of those things. How can that come through you in a way that allows you to live and be supported? Here's the key. What door is that going to unlock? So that's something for you to consider and meditate on. That's what's being shown to me. What does life look like without that heavy blanket? What does it feel like without heavy blanket? And if you don't have the answer right away, if the key doesn't open the door in your mind straight away, that's what it is. That's what I need to do. Have patience with yourself, right? Keep shaking, keep dancing, because you're going to be living life without the weight of that heavy blanket, and it may take some time to figure it out, because the head wants all the answers now. The head wants to know, the head wants to figure it out, the head wants to know the way, but sometimes the whispers of the heart take a while to be heard. It's really hard to hear those whispers when they're underneath that heavy blanket. So now that they're gone, just tuning into the whispers of the heart. I feel like there's a sparkle in you. There's a sparkle in you that wants to burn bright. So you're fueling that sparkle, just like if you had a fire in you and you wanted to fuel the fire, you would add wood to bring the flames higher. Find the things that are going to fuel the sparkle. And in that process, even if that's not a thing that brings money straight away, it's going to it's going to generate and amplify and expand that sparkle inside of you that wants to be expressed in some way. It's going to activate other people. It's going to be of service to the extent of your capacity, given what you're working with in your body. Food for thought. And thanks for being here. Leanne, hi. I believe we share a purpose together, finding it challenging to move forward, find any purpose after such a devastating loss. I assume you're talking about your political views. I don't know if you've experienced a loss in your personal life. Okay. Okay, so you lost your son. May I know his name? I'm sorry for your loss. Say his name with me 3 times, Leanne, would you? Nicholas Lorenzo. Nicholas Lorenzo. Nicholas Lorenzo. No matter the circumstances of his departure, I want you to know that he's okay. And in the overwhelming grief, all-consuming, that feeling of desolation and devastation, the bereavement, that he's here with you. And no matter the circumstances of his departure, as a mother to mother, today, the support that's coming through is for, wow, you can hear that, right? The support that's coming through is to clear any thoughts. It's so interesting. It's like almost difficult for me to speak. Any thoughts of guilt or shame, or I should have done it differently, or if only I had done this. Any thoughts where you beat yourself up, wishing it were other than it was. Just going to ask you to be open to clearing some of that energy, yeah? Leanne, you can go ahead and if you place your hand on your heart and on your throat, you can bring through a sound for you. I feel the excruciation. I feel that level of pain in your heart. So I'm going to bring through a song or a sound to soothe, and not that any words or anything can take away what you're experiencing. Well, the prayer is that this is balm. This is soothing for the acuteness of that excruciating pain, right? So that you can find peace. You can find peace with his passing. So that you can come to comprehend the bigger picture, understand God's will. And close your eyes and focus inward for me, if you will. the prayer for his spirit, that he may find the light. Woo, 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 Take it into consideration that in spirit, he wants you to be free. Yeah. He's doing okay. He's doing better than okay. And you can connect to him anytime. And time will heal the acuteness of that excruciating pain. May never take it away completely, but it will soften. And in the depths of that pain, there's a bigger picture, there's a deeper understanding, there's a potential for a more profound connection. You have someone in spirit on the other side with you that you love dearly. Mother and child bond is the strongest bond there is. As far as I'm concerned. Strongest bond you can possibly have with another human being. Mm-hmm. It's bringing you the birds. And yeah, there'll always be the grief for the loss of that physical contact, the touch, the presence, the smell, the voice, the shared experiences. When you lose someone and you can no longer hold their hand, I encourage you to hold your own hand and imagine that his hand is holding you back. And if there's anything that you need to do to assist you to grieve, assist you with the process of letting go, finding closure, finding completion, a wake or a funeral obviously is intended for those left behind. But if there's more that needs to be done as the mother, in sorting through his things or the contemplating his life by the river or finding yourself in nature. I find when someone passes over that you love dearly, that nature is the best medicine, because nature's where you feel their presence the most strongly. In the wind, in the water, in the fire, in the rocks and soil, in the trees. If leaving the body means that you're back, source, home, one with all of creation, and find yourself in nature's temple to pray and connect to his spirit. Yeah, 5 years. And in time you'll find the pieces of yourself that have fragmented and empty. Feeling the emptiness, you'll start to pull back the pieces of yourself that's scattered. And there's a feeling of wholeness that will come back, because life goes on. And I pray that you find peace. Yeah, that you find peace with his passing. Peace with the loss. Peaceful resolution in your own being, so that you can make the most of this precious life, integrating that loss. May it bring you a sweetness, a potent sweetness to your waking moments, in the appreciation of how precious life is, the awareness of how precious life is, so that in your own life you can live with that awareness. As most people walking around disconnected, going through the motions, oblivious to the fact that we're just here for a short time. But you have had that heightened to the nth degree, right? How sweet and precious life is. So with that honing of that awareness, and with the passage of time and the peaceful resolution in yourself, that you can choose to live in a way that is rich and rewarding for you. Bless. All right, my loves. Is there anyone else here that would like a healing before I switch gears and go about my day? Thank you to those that asked for help. Did I miss anyone? I will, before I go, just again focus on that heavy agitation that I felt when I opened the circle. Interesting times, hey? Just bringing through the love, the support, the guidance that you need in your life to find your way, to remain true to yourself, to be in alignment, so that you can live a life that is beautifully rich, rewarding, fulfilling, abundant, prosperous, making a difference, feeling like your purpose is being fulfilled. All right, my loves. Thanks for being here. Take a deep breath. Thanks for asking for healing. Thanks for doing the work. Many blessings. Namaste.